Welcome to Sanctuary Growthcast, Episode 2.
Hey everyone, welcome to Growthcast Episode 2. Today we're back with the team. We're excited and we've got some really cool things to talk about. We're going to explore Rex's wisdom and knowledge again through a concept he has of the six dragons. So Rex, what's the six dragons?
My wisdom and knowledge won't take long to get through. The six dragons. What are the six dragons?
What are they?
Yeah, what I've found in learning is metaphor is really useful. Storytelling. So the idea of the six dragons sort of came out of playfulness, and each dragon stands for a thing we need to overcome. So to gain mastery as a human being, to master being a human being, we're given a whole lot of stuff, like senses, and we're given skill, and we're all given basic skills, but we're given drive, initiative, a body, agenda. We're given all sorts of stuff, and and we get to use it. It's like, here's a set of tools, here's a body, go forth, and the manual's not that easy to understand. But what we found is the six dragons simplify that, and we found, as I explain what they are, that when we overcome or train or learn to engage with cooperation with the six or each of the six dragons, life starts to take on a sense of control and harmony. And I think most people find that. So the first dragon out of the six, and it's sequential, and there's a whole story, theory, a rabbit hole to disappear down. And simplistically, like for this chat, the first dragon's really about imagination and thought. So it's a given gift, and we can imagine anything in any direction, negative, positive, past, future. We can imagine, and as we imagine and put thought to it, the second dragon gets engaged, which is emotion. Its emotion is sort of stimulated by the imaginary dragon or imagining dragon's strategy of thinking and imagining. And so when those two get together, those two dragons get together, they initiate the propensity of the third dragon to have to do something, which is it's the spoken word. So the third dragon then feels compelled to have to say something. So as you imagine, if you look at the thought or imagination dragon, eliciting an emotion, be it reactive and or proactive, will dictate what is propelled to be said. And there's a whole school of thought about what we say and vibration, resonance, the effect it has on other people, et cetera, et cetera. And of course, the fourth dragon then is forgiveness. If we've got a reactive first three dragons, it's very hard to forgive because we're stuck in stories of unforgiveness, anger, rage, blame, regret. So forgiveness can't be engaged. But to overcome the dragon of forgiveness, to learn to contain it and hold it and be able to forgive the past and move forward, requires the first three dragons to be in harmony, in agreement, in working together. Then the fourth dragon can kick in and through forgiveness, clear the past, clear the drama, clear the holding on to it, the weight of carrying stuff, and freeze it every day to forgive. I let go, I forgive. And then the fifth dragon kicks in naturally, which is gratitude. Because when I can be in the first four dragons flying in formation, then gratitude is, oh my God, how grateful I am for my lot, be it difficult, challenging, extraordinary, easy, and elating, and enlightening. And then the sixth dragon kicks in then, when the first five are working together beautifully, and it's called being able to be in the moment, commit, immerse, be present, so we can focus and be still.
Do you think gratitude could come first?
I could think that.
Like, you've got the order, but I feel like if you're grateful, maybe the other ones can become more easier. Like, you can forgive easier and you can speak a truth if you're grateful. And because I feel like gratitude is an easy place that most people can practice doing. Your framework, you have to go in that order, or?
Yeah, because in that, anything can be anything.
Yeah.
But over practicing the six dragons and understanding them and playing and mucking around with clients, and It's very hard to forgive when your imaginings and thinking are in unforgiveness and or resentment or blame.
Yeah.
So the first dragon, which is imagining a scenario, real or imagined, that is in any way adverse, difficult, impossible, or somebody's done something or not done something that hurt you, it's the imaginings and the emotions connected to the imagining. So if you go forgiveness first, you've got to be able to forgive, you've got to be still. You've got to be able to be in a state of imagining, I understand what you did. I understand that, like even though it was really awful to experience as another human being, whoever you are, that I know you didn't really mean it that way. Or even if you did, I know that you didn't at a much, much deeper level. To go there, I've got to be able to be. Does that?
Yeah. Do you
that's
think?
Why we put imagination.
Do you think
first.
people have to get to all those steps to get to forgiveness, to get to gratitude? They have to, because I feel if I'm trying to forgive someone or like express these other things, I find gratitude is just like an easy thing to practice.
And you so get that with Oren, huh? Like
so
he's
like,
so forgiving.
Like if someone does me wrong, I can sort of like, I don't know, maybe I'm just trying to like trick myself into forgiving, but I can be grateful for the good things and like, try and see it from the perspective.
Where does your imagination go to be able to go into a state of gratitude?
I just like, I feel like I'm good at seeing the good in things.
That's your imagination.
Empath.
Okay.
Empath.
Yeah. That's what I'm trying to get at. Like, am I consciously going through all these steps to get there?
Yeah, you do.
And I'm like convincing myself by doing these things first.
Yeah, like Oren forgives. It's such a blessing. If you come to the sanctuary, sorry, I've got to gazump you because I want to talk about you. Like he's amazing and beautiful, and he walks. People love you so much because a big part of it is you're such a forgiving, loving being.
Stop it.
But to see the good is an image.
Yeah.
To see the good in people through their poor behaviour or their moment requires you to imagine through the bad behaviour to see the potential or the good or the high intention, and then forgive. When you can't see the high intention, you only see the behaviour that might not have been so useful. It's hard to move to forgiveness.
Yeah, cool.
Do you see let me throw one in. Do you see the good easily?
I feel like I've practiced it a lot because I don't want to be in pain. So I've it's just been like the best, probably the most powerful thing I've implemented would be.
So
gratitude.
you've mastered the first dragon really well.
I don't know about I don't think I've mastered anything. I'm on my own journey, but maybe.
I think you're just being a humble little dragon. Yeah.
But maybe I am like I have done these things to get there first.
You've put a lot of work in. But you think of being a hurt boy in the past and go, what did he do to learn to overcome that difficulty and pain inside?
I feel like I see the bigger picture and like know where I want to go, and I'm like still so far away from it that I like discredit myself a little bit maybe. That I'm like, it's like you can, because you know where you can go, and you're like, you're not there yet, so you like discredit the work you've done a little bit, like, and I think probably, yeah, I do.
So okay, but I mean, and we can disappear down that rabbit hole if you want to play it.
I don't know if I'm about ready to get Rexed on podcast.
No. But the funny thing is that everybody listening...
I have a few episodes before I start crying.
We're all part of this. We're all part of the moment. We're all part of the moment you're experiencing.
Yeah.
And to be at 100% in mastery all the time, I think is a journey that the humans are on, that we're aspiring to. Mm-hmm. So, the answer of the sequence was just witnessing the practice of working with people and then watching them process it and go, well, just forgive.
Yeah.
And they'll go, but I can't.
Yeah.
You wouldn't believe what they did to me.
And that's the part of forgiveness as well, is like once you are able to forgive, that's when you can just let it go.
Yeah.
And then that can be a subconscious thing as well. Is you could say, oh, I do have forgiven that person, but if you haven't, you're holding on to it. You'll never let it go.
But to forgive it, you've got to think in a certain way
Yeah.
and imagine them in a certain way.
Yeah.
And then you'll go, I see the beauty in you. It's okay.
And that will come from a place of your own self-actualization of
Yes, I think so.
you understand yourself. Maybe it wasn't you. It's their own issues or problems or trauma. And then that's when you can go, okay, it's not me.
And you've got to have that. The third is spoken word.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because if you don't have that, then people will just walk all over you. Like, you forgive them and make excuses for them, but you've got to, like, speak it. Otherwise, they'll just keep happening, you know?
Yeah.
It's
So,
very,
yeah.
like, I'm definitely guilty of that in the past.
Being able to
just
communicate is so important.
Yeah. Just
And control
like
the spoken
making an
word.
excuse for people's,
Yeah.
crossing boundaries.
Yeah. And then
Like, that's not true forgiveness. That's
interpreting language wrong as well.
Which is rife.
Yeah, that is.
Language is so subjective.
Yeah.
And unpredictable.
And then within all those different personality types, people communicate differently. They language things differently, and people take on things in certain ways. And yeah, communication's so important.
I think,
And then that spoken word would go into forgiveness as well.
yeah. But you think about controlling the spoken word, which is driven by compulsion and emotion. I've got to say this. And it's filled with, oh my God, I love you so much I can't breathe, to I'm so pissed off, I'm so fucking wild that I can't even be in the room with you.
Yeah,
And,
reactivity.
and then you go, it's really hard.
Yep.
And when we're emotive, when we're wound up to hold that, and it's really hard to hold it when we're in insatiable love in a moment, is to stop saying, oh, God, I have to tell you something. I mean, is that your experience?
And then even with forgiveness as well, it's like I remember forgiving myself for things took so long.
Yeah, it's a big one.
And then once you get to that place in your journey to be able to let it go, that's when you can just move into action.
What did you find
Clarity.
when you started to be able to go,
You waste
I
so much
forgive
energy
you, I
on
love
that
you?
when you're not forgiving yourself, like analysing shit. What could I have done different?
It's the hardest one.
Going back and, I should have done this, or what I could have done that. Like, you didn't know that. You were you're unconscious then. Like, it's okay.
I remember
you waste so much energy just like not forgiving yourself, like trying to go back and
Well, the ultimate
judge yourself
adversary is
and-
yourself. When it really comes through, all the people will forgive you, but there's one person that might not. I mean, I've come up against
yourself.
that so many times in sessions where the one person I don't even want to know. I loathe myself, or I can't stand myself, or I don't believe in myself.
And with forgiveness as well, if you aren't able to forgive yourself for anything that you've done, you wouldn't be able to forgive others.
There it is.
So that's where it comes.
Yeah.
Once you can forgive yourself.
And so the sequence of thought and imagination needs to come from love, is to love yourself enough to be able to then bring it out to others.
Exactly.
Do you think you need to forgive yourself first before you can really forgive other people?
Yes. To really connect with it
to be able to
in an amazing way.
And I think like true gratitude comes from a place where you have forgiven yourself and you are happy with who you are. You love yourself. Like, I remember going through all my stuff, I would never be able to say I love myself or I'm proud of myself.
Just make you cringe a lot.
Yeah, I'd be like, oh, like, it just doesn't, it's not me. And now I fucking say it all the time. Down the shops. Love you, Adzi.
Yeah.
People are looking at me all weird and shit.
Well, look at the journey you've been on together, yourself and you.
Yeah.
Like, you've been through everything together. You've slept together, you've seen the worst of yourself.
We've shared a
you've seen
bed.
the best of yourself. Oh,
We've shared a nice bath, shared a
you
bed.
guys had a bath together. Yeah. Slept together. Yeah, okay. That's cool.
Did that just go on?
Is
Oh,
that
it's
our-
just like burning more and it was going in my eyes a bit. Yeah.
It's our smudge stick. We'd like everybody to meet Mia. Hi, darling.
We got the whole team here.
We've got the whole team. We are so blessed.
Aren't we? But no, like, I was going to ask a question on, like, how do you think people get stuck in that sequence of, like, the thought and then the emotion, the spoken word, and then forgiveness? Like, how do people get stuck there to not be able to get to the end, the sixth dragon, to live life happy with love?
I have a one simple answer that's complex. Is human beings are an habituated creature.
Yeah.
So most of how we do what we do is learn to habit, and it becomes unconsciously competent. So the images, the thinking, the beliefs are all in holding patterns of habituation. So you need to break the habit. Hence the 4 doorways of the sanctuary.
That we spoke about last week.
Yeah. So if you take breath and ice, the idea of sitting in them is sitting in a stressor, and then practicing a certain breath technique that teaches you to take a fight-flight reaction and control it into a parasympathetic nervous system reaction, which is, eat and rest, and be able to control that in the moment of the stressor. So if you look at life and things happening, events, like we talk about stuff that was hard, or the terrible pain of not liking yourself and then coming up, so you avoid, there's a tendency when you don't like yourself to avoid situations where you would witness yourself failing or hurting. So you avoid opportunities where your full potential and intelligence would flourish. You don't go there because you know or believe that you're stupid or not smart enough or, unattractive, or don't take a photo of me.
Yeah.
You've got no idea how ugly I am.
Insecurity.
And people and so when and that's a habit. They practice it. They learn it, and they live inside the holding pattern of the habit.
I've been there for
sure.
Yeah.
And so then you break the habit. So the practice of ice baths, breath work, training, fitness, all of that, and the mind work, the 4 doors always, is learning to rehabituate the way you think about it. And as soon as you do that, you start to take control of the first dragon of thought.
Yeah.
And the second dragon starts to be able to be managed. Because when you're sitting in an ice bath, you guys know, more than anybody, I think you guys are in the bath more than Wim Hof, is
I like that. I'll take that. I'll take that.
You guys are ice men. Well, the practice is you sit in there, and you'll know from when you first hopped into now how much you're able to take control of your nervous system. And so when you do that, you're controlling the nervous system, you're controlling the reactive fear, panic. You're also retraining the habit of when something stressful happens, that you're retraining it to, I'm okay, I can handle this. You're practicing that in the metaphor, as is with the deep dive breath, as is with weights. You push to the point where you go, I can't. Come on, one more. And you go, I go through the impossible. My brain says I can't. And then you do, with a little help. And the brain then goes, oh, hang on a minute. Well, I did, but I didn't think I could. Next time you come in there and you push through, you overcome that weight or do it again, and the brain changes its mind. So it's the same in all the 4 doorways, that you start to train the 6 dragons.
So
and tame them through the 4 doorways.
That's why I think weight training is the best place to start. If you just don't know what you want to do, or you've got no purpose or direction, or you don't believe in yourself at all, come to the gym and push yourself and just beat what you did the previous time, write it down, and then over time, you look back in 3 months and you're like, holy fuck, I'm lifting all these things in literally every movement, and I've added 20, 30 kilos, maybe even doubling what I previously could have done untrained. What else am I capable of that I just didn't even allow myself to believe was possible?
Changes your energy, everything, your
wonderful.
mood.
It's and it's just you giving yourself permission.
You look better, feel better, sleep better.
What's that
physical
machine
thing
that I was on this morning? You were helping me. That I said I didn't like this in the beginning.
Zero.
No, it was the incline chest press.
You don't
now I didn't like it because those muscles were untrained. So it was fatiguing straight away, and I had no strength. Didn't like the feeling of no strength. So part of me goes, I don't want to do that exercise.
Yeah.
Why don't we do something else?
And that's habituated.
Yes, that's life. I don't like it. It's uncomfortable. I don't like it. It hurts. I don't want to do it.
Yep.
But then we said today, Oren said, oh my God, look. And I'm going, I'm actually enjoying it, because over the last number of weeks, I've pushed through, stayed with it, and then there's muscle developing, and I was starting to feel strong.
And that's a motivator.
Which is confident. I'm overcoming the nervous system.
Yeah.
And that's the key. Through that one doorway.
I always say to anyone who's training, I'm like, the movements you hate the most and you're the worst at are the ones you need to do, because you're weak there.
Yes.
And it's also you're overcoming that limitation of I'm bad at this, or it's No, you're just untrained in it. It's not that you're bad at it. It's just you haven't done it.
So
And
what does the
familiar-
average mind do when they come up against something they don't like or it's hurt?
Oh, it's just you'll try and convince yourself a reason not to train legs.
Yeah. Straight to legs.
I think I've got an aversion to that. Yeah,
You do.
Yeah.
We
I don't know
use
why,
Mount,
because
we use Mount Coolum
we
as
go,
an
he does
excuse.
Mount Coolum, therefore he doesn't need to do it. But I probably need to do it.
Yeah, I'm enabling you to do that.
Why? Because I got strong legs.
Yeah.
But then, maybe I just didn't feel like it. I'm lazy.
Yeah, it's that psychology
It's just
behind
because
it.
you haven't been like, if you were training more frequently, we could be definitely it would be like you need to do legs now. But
Yeah, right. Well, I think I need to get into it.
And then
you need to.
And then that would tie in with the mind doorway of like if you have a psychological barrier to do something that you don't like based off fear,
Yeah.
and you are able to change your mindset on that, then you can push forward. I was talking to a friend the other day and I said, I'm going back to uni and I don't like doing maths. I've got a big maths subject. And it's not because I'm bad at it. It's because I just hated it during school and I've got this thing like, I'm not good at it. But I just
There
need to
you
change
go.
my mindset around
There it is.
that thought of just doing it instead of being scared of it.
So if somebody, are you saying to the people listening that when you meet a part of yourself that doesn't like something,
Resistance.
that's when you should do it?
Yeah. I say it all the time at the gym. I'm like, hey, such and such, are you getting in the ice today? I'm like, I don't really feel like it. I'm like, that's like,
Get in the
today
ice.
is the day you're meant to get in.
Yeah.
When you don't want to get in, that's when you
Because
get
it's not
in.
enjoyable.
No, because there's something holding you back. Like I remember sometimes we jump in the ice and it's easy, and then some days it's so hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's when the
It's
the
funny,
progress
isn't it?
is made
Yeah.
for sure.
It's when your ego is like, when you're
Controlling
in your
you.
ego, it's just
Tame it.
like, don't get in there. Don't,
Tame the dragon.
You don't need to today. You went in
There it
yesterday.
is.
It's okay. You just find all these reasons.
These
Yeah,
stories
you do,
up.
you do.
So it's
Yeah.
uncomfortable, painful.
Yeah.
I'm fatigued, or I don't know what I'm doing, or I'm technically unskillful. I'll do it tomorrow.
Yep.
And yet if we did those things,
Feels so much better.
and then become more skillful in life,
And
and
it-
have a much happier time.
And then you form
You have a
habit.
lot more faith in
Form
yourself.
habit.
And you're
So face the fear.
Yeah. That enables you to build confidence.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah,
never do
well.
uncomfortable things, that's a cycle as well. You're just not going. You're gonna get less and less confident. And you have
What's
to
the hardest thing you've overcome? You can talk about publicly.
Just believing in myself and like
Right.
people told me like to give up.
Yeah.
Like people close to me told me to give up, and
Sorry, man.
yeah, but I'm so grateful for those things, because if everyone told you you're amazing and that you can do anything and you just believed it, it's like, well, did you create that yourself? It was like, no, I know. I feel like if you have to build that confidence in yourself when you're programmed maybe negatively, then it's like, it's a lot more powerful.
Yeah.
Like, people who
is.
have really exceptionally hard lives, but they somehow believe that they're going to get out of it and create something special, and then they do it. I'm like, that is so much more powerful than someone who has $1 million given to them.
It's always
Yeah,
the
right.
Yeah.
people that have had the hard journeys
Yeah.
that make it so far
That's
because,
the standing ovation.
because they
Yeah.
believe in themselves.
It'd be this space would be the answer for sure.
So you started, like this guy, Oren starts 5 years ago, Sanctuary, with hardly any money, no experience in a business,
I have no idea what.
no idea what you were doing.
I
You
still
never
don't.
leased a building. You didn't know it. And you did it though somehow. And you now, a number of years later, have a very flourishing, beautiful space that you're super proud of. Like, you followed something in you. Do you know what it is?
I feel like I was always good at convincing myself of doing things. Like, even if I didn't feel that way, like I would feel not confident, not good. Like I would think I'm uncreative, or
Yeah.
I'm bad at admin, or I'm disorganized. I'd have all these stories, but I would have ways of convincing my ego. Like I feel like it's my higher self, like telling me and convincing me with these other stories, like, or well, the regret of not doing this thing, and then is far worse than you getting out of that comfort zone.
You got the good angel and the bad angel.
Yeah, but I like.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
But I feel, but it was also my higher self using the level of consciousness that I was at that time to convince me. I feel like you can only go a little bit higher than where you're already at. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you have to like use smart little ways of convincing yourself to do things. Like the pain of doing that is a lot worse than if you tried. And what if you never do this? What if you I could use regret
All of
and
that.
I could use negative emotion to push myself to do things that were.
Or
It's like I'm okay with failure if I know I've given it everything.
Yeah, true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
you're right. So
But,
you gave it your all, and then somehow you go,
Yeah.
well,
But then
you've delivered on something.
Yeah. But then if I could make it about other people, then that was more powerful. Like if it's something bigger than myself, it's about creating something special that a whole community of people could benefit from.
Is that
Like,
what you saw when you said, I'm going to do
not
it
not
anyway?
not straight away. Like that was over time. Initially, it was just I just wasn't happy with where I was at. Just didn't like being told what to do. Just probably
Yeah.
I don't like being people having a plan for me, and I'm just a piece of their puzzle, and I attract to be, I guess, manipulation. Just being an empathic person, but I've overcome a lot of that. But yeah, I just convinced myself I had a one-way ticket to Bali, and I was just like,
Yeah.
because I was like, I don't want to even be a PT. I just want to do my own thing for a while. And then someone said to me we could have our own gym, and I was just like, I just asked my mates. I was like, would you join a gym if we opened one? And I was just worked it out. First warehouse I saw, I was like, let's do it. But like logically, it was a really bad decision.
Yeah, sure.
Really bad.
It had to be done.
Well, I
though.
didn't. Yeah, had to.
And then without
I could just convince myself, like, oh, this is better than what you're doing now.
and without that thought process of like, screw the logic, I just want this vision to happen.
yeah, like if I did a pros and
wouldn't
cons
be
list,
where
it
it
would
is
just
today.
be like, don't do it.
Yeah,
But you did do
it's
it.
courageous.
Yeah.
It's brave.
So you imagined something
It's
that propelled you.
yeah. And I'm just grateful I had a lot of good people around me, like friends, like all my friends joined. Even people I didn't think were my friends joined.
Yeah,
they joined.
that would've
and
been awesome.
Like there was 70 people from the school I went to who we had 120 members, and I went through and counted everyone. 70 was from the school that I went to initially.
Wow.
Wow,
And that was just like, it already had
How
that
cool is
community
that?
from school, and everyone just sort of knew each
how
other.
cool is that?
I was like, fuck, that's pretty cool.
So can I grab that
Yeah.
and add to the second layer of the dragons?
Yeah, go on.
When you harnessed and trained the dragons, take the first one, thought and imagination, then that dragon is being utilized for its imagining ability and its thought ability. And so you start to go, I can imagine what I want in advance, what I want to cause, create,
Yep.
and then so it's the first image. And then the emotion comes in, the second dragon,
The drive.
and gets excited, driven,
passion.
inspired, passion. And together they do something, and then you have conversations. The third dragon, you start to talk to people, you start to interact, you might speak, you might go and inquire, you might go and ask for help, you might go and ask for finance, and then it starts to, and then you start to see growth, and you start to feel grateful, and you know. And you start to maybe overcome the part of you that wasn't prepared to forgive the part of you that was scared for hesitating in the first place. So as you look back now,
Yeah.
Yeah.
look at
wow.
who you've become, look what's happened. Like you stayed, you did it,
Yeah.
you stayed with it, you went through all sorts of
Yeah.
stuff that probably made you want to give up at different times.
Yeah.
And here you are, and then now it's got a team, and it's got
Yeah.
partners, and it's got, like, it's amazing.
It's crazy.
And you go, what
Yeah.
the hell's happening here?
I feel like every next level, like this was something I was always aware of, or early on at least, like every level of this will require a different level of myself. And it's like now it's like there's no way you would have come in at the start. You'd be like, what the fuck? No.
So as you grow,
Yeah,
the
it's like-
sanctuaries grows
it's
as
like-
well.
Yeah, just lined up at the
Yeah,
sliding
and I
door
just
and-
reflect on that like a year ago. Like, yeah, towards the end of 2020, I was like, I'm fucked right now. I need to see Rex. Just spent the money. And then like nearly just a little over a year later, like you're here.
Yeah,
And it was just like this feeling.
you caused me.
It was, I feel like we caused each other.
Yeah, we did.
But this feeling was like, you have to call Rex. Like you have to do it. Because I was meaning to do it for years, and it was just, at that time, it was just like, you need to do it now. Like,
because I saw other people you knew years ago, didn't I?
Yeah, and I'd sent other people to you over the time that
you.
were really in dark places, but you shouldn't wait till you're in a dark place to do it.
No. And now that synergy has grown into we're doing it together.
Yeah.
And a multiple metaphor, which has become the 4 doorways, is alive and growing, and we're talking about it because it's real. But it didn't exist a number of months ago, and now the 4 doorways are real, and the breathwork's real, and the ice bars are real, and the mindset stuff's real, and the gym is absolutely real. And you go, what it all came from the first dragon, which is I'm saying is when we're in harmony and we align our imaginings, and then we go into the feeling of inspiration, and then we speak it, connect it.
Yeah, thoughts become things.
Starts. That's right. It turns
everything.
into. And then, then a few years later, people go, you're so lucky the way things worked out for you.
Yeah, I'm starting to see that now. Like when
I used to be like, fuck you.
Right, you got no idea of the sleepless nights or the struggle or overcoming the fear of it failing, but staying and staying and staying. It's like staying with the weight. So is that key? Like staying?
Yeah.
Staying,
That's
which is the sixth
devotion.
Devotion.
Yeah.
not giving up.
To stay.
Yeah.
Don't give up.
Yeah. Hold your dream
Yeah.
and then run with the wolves. Stay and train the propensity to run.
Yeah.
And you get better. Like stay in the ice bath. Stay. Oh, I'm gonna die. It's too painful.
And we're saying this now, like, it by no means has fully showed up, but it's like all these amazing things are falling into place. Like, it's like,
Yeah, that's right.
Like we're nowhere near, what we envisioned to be. So it'll be cool, like when we look back and having this conversation, like we haven't got it all figured out. Like we're just living it now, and eventually it will catch up.
Yeah, so
Because it's very easy to that's the faith, but it's just like very easy to listen to this and think that we're like at the top, or we're on our journey. We've still got so far to go, and we're just
thrilling.
It's so exciting.
It's
It's
cool.
addicting.
Like in the last week, 2 weeks of flooding, I just started to itch to get to you guys and to get to Mia and Jade and Rhonda and so on, because I was missing the team. And coming down today was like a child.
Yeah, I was so keen.
Childlike.
I was so excited.
And we're having so much fun.
Yeah.
If it was weird not seeing you for 2 weeks.
Yeah, same. I really missed you, How are we doing for time? Are we rocking?
Does that matter?
Are we good?
We can just.
Okay, cool.
Want to keep going?
I don't know. I thought we were in a pretty good flow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Edit that bit out.
Yeah, nah, just asking. Like, just respecting. It could have been 3 hours. I wouldn't have known.
Yeah, well, we just entered into the vortex.
So about you, Adsy? Like, how you doing? What's going on? Like, you just transforming.
Yeah, like I think recently coming into this gym, and since maybe November last year, since working closely with you guys and the team, and just that growth that we've had, the shift's just been massive, and I never even thought something like this was possible. And just the Six Dragons is something I just love, because it's just the sequence, and I'm a very logical thinker. And just practicing that every day has just opened me up and to curiosity and to possibilities.
Yeah.
It's been such a journey. Hey, like just reminiscing with Oren and that thought of how he never used to believe in himself.
Yeah, wow.
And I think that's why we connected so much when we first met. It was because I was at a place where I'd never believed myself, and I never thought that was possible. And it was just like that one conversation led to meeting you, and now look at it where we are.
I think you did believe in yourself, but you didn't.
Yeah, there were definitely layers to it for sure.
Yeah, like your higher self believes it, but it's just those stories.
Yeah, they were stories, and that's why I like what you do, Rex, is how you're a storyteller, and you make a situation, you think differently about a situation, and you unravel it with all your concepts and metaphors and ideas.
Yeah, we found the storytelling and the metaphors the brain can relate because it's a multi-sensory mechanism.
Yeah.
It's not just a linear mechanism. So it relates to the stories and sees itself in them. So they're really, really... I mean, we learned that from a guy called Milton Erickson, who was a very, very famous a psychiatrist who used storytelling and language to help people who were in deep states of psychosis and he found their brain changing as he uttered stories that were linked enough to them and subtly and yet gave a doorway for them. In the story, there was a doorway for them to go through to get out of where they thought they were stuck. And he talks about, one of the things I love is the concept of perspective. Like you take a situation and say, oh, I'm in this situation. And then you go, well, describe the situation. And as they describe the situation, they describe a perspective of a situation.
Yeah.
The way where they've entered looking at the situation. So if you took what's a good, I can't, like, okay, good, take the phone and go, if Adam and Oren are looking at that phone and describe the phone, they might describe it's black, but I can't see that part. So we all think we're looking at the same thing, but there's a screen that I can switch and you guys can't see it. So I could go, well, let me tell you what I see. And you guys would go, that's bullshit, that's not there, that's ridiculous. It's obviously just a black object.
Yeah.
And so people do that. So the mindset work is interrupting their perspective and going, well, I can understand that where you're looking at it from, that is what you see. But what if we look at it from over here? What would you see then? What if it was possible that you could cause the life that you really want? What if it was possible for you to transform your circumstance?
Yeah.
They go, oh, well, from where I'm looking, I can't see how. Well, what if we come over here?
Yeah.
So the brain can go to, I guess the essence of what I'm saying is the brain is capable of going to infinite perspectives. It's transformed. You can move and move and move into different ways of looking at it. And in the freedom from the hell is in moving the perspective to looking at it another way. And the imagination is infinitely capable to do that.
And that's
It's
what
like
I
a
love.
simulator, yeah.
That's what I love when we first started working together because, like, as I got out of the army, I had this clear plan, and I would remember what we would talk about how I could never be in the present, and I would always be trying to make that future better.
Yeah.
Because when I was a kid, I was always looking for that future moment
Yes.
of happiness, and it was just this clear path. And I was like, I have to do this, I have to do this, and then when it would segue, I would beat myself up, and I would get anxious and depressed. And then you helped me realise that as we evolutionarily change our brains, you can just veer off on a different journey as your perception changes and you grow. And that was really cool, very powerful, and I resonate with that.
Oh, you're most welcome. It helps, doesn't it?
That lesson alone is like probably like the only lesson.
Like once it clicks,
yeah. It's like if you had like one thing to believe, it could be that, you know.
Like I just remember so clearly, like even before, like even I think it was before I came to the gym, I was like, I'm going to go to uni and do this, and then I'm going to go buy this house here and have this amount of kids and do that.
Yeah, you were very like that.
Very just so rigid and just no deviation. The bodybuilding, just tunnel vision. Like, once I get here, I'll be happy, and then once I get there, and I'm never happy in the present because I'm like, oh, now I have to do that, now I have to do that, now I have to do that. And
because you're never there yet?
I was never there. And then once coming to the gym and doing all these things, it's like I'm just happy just going with it and seeing what happens. And once that clicked, I was like, all right, now I'm happy. Now I love myself. I'm proud of myself.
Bodybuilding is such a good example of that way of thinking because you can control every variable. Like I control this, and this. If I do this exercise, eat this specific amount of food, and I can manipulate things, and I do this amount of steps, and then I can get there, and then I'll get on stage, and it's just like the next thing, the next thing, the next thing. It's always like something you have to control absolutely everything. So like,
exactly.
People have no. You grew up with not much control in your life. You found this thing where you could control.
Yep. And now that whole perception of it's changed, and like I'll live a bodybuilding lifestyle, but I just enjoy it because like I do like being in control of the variables of my life. But it doesn't control me. I control that. And I think it used to control me.
So does that, you're responding with ability.
And then it's a good teacher.
Your response is your control. Is that
Yeah.
Sorry,
Sorry to cut you off. Just saying, with like looking at it that way, it can be a very good teacher to have that structure, but it's not consuming your whole life, and it's
exactly
not the end of the world.
Yeah.
You know.
I control that now.
Yeah.
He used to control me.
there it is. So you took control.
Yeah.
And people listening, you might be, I imagine it's possible you could be wondering, but that, like that sounds easy, just to take control when I feel so out of control. But the idea that you're out of control is part of the problem.
Yeah. And that's what you do so well, is you unravel those thought processes.
Yeah. It's funny because the brain's clever, like it's non-linear in its timeline. So if someone says, I feel no control, and I go, well, close your eyes and imagine a time when you felt some control somewhere in the past, and most of the time, they'll go, and I'll say, have you got a time? And they say, yeah, I remember. And then I say, well, go there. And they go there and look around, and you watch their physiology change.
Yeah.
You watch their breath change.
Yeah.
You know their colour of their skin changes.
Yeah.
Their posture, everything changes, and you see a smile. And yet they're sitting in a room in exactly the same place they decided they had no control. So you realise, what I've learned over the years is the control or the sensation or the experience of your whole way of being is driven by where you're putting your attention in a moment.
Yeah.
But we externalise it. We think, it's when I've got enough money, I can be safe. When I've got someone who loves me back, I can feel enough. I can feel loved. When my body's in perfect form, then I'll be acceptable to others. When I'm wearing this outfit, when I'm driving this machine, you go, they're all great. But if you attach your sense of safety, control, sense of happiness to those external things, they change all the time. If you can bring it in. And you just see it in the moment when they shift, and you can see someone in a moment of absolute devastation for whatever the context, which is really painful, and then get them to close their eyes and then go inside. And it's a skill, but to language them into a place and get them to imagine a time when they felt, even in the future, a time when you would imagine feeling, maybe you're by a lake, maybe you're diving into the most beautiful, pristine waters, or standing under a waterfall, or just sitting on some island sipping a pina colada overlooking the ocean, and someone's bringing another one to you. And you watch, and they go, and they start imagining it, and everything changes. Sitting there, you can see you'll even see the breath. It's like, that's
being
better.
present, present, mindful.
The only thing happening is their imagination's changed.
Yeah.
First dragon.
I remember an example of that. Like, I just remember I would always just be thinking of a future task. I'd do one, and then I'd be like, okay, what's next? And then sometimes I would just forget moments of the day. Yeah. Like get in a car and drive for 20 minutes.
You weren't there.
And I wasn't even thinking, look at this nice view, or look at this traffic is shit. And I would just get out of the car and be like, I don't even remember that 20-minute journey.
And a lot of people live their lives like that.
Yeah.
What happened?
And you just lose years, memories, so many amazing emotions, because you're just trapped in this thought process of like, what's next? Like, what am I going to do next so I can be happy in the present?
There's a very good, it's humorous, but it's very poignant way of saying is there are 3 types of people, which is 3 types of ways of thinking about life. There are those that make it happen. There are those that let it happen, and there are those that say, what happened? So in those what happened moments, I don't even remember driving here.
Yeah, I was one of those.
Yeah.
I've gone all the way through,
That should be the scariest thing. Like,
Yeah.
People just go years without even questioning that. But that should scare the fuck out of you. Like,
that should.
Just getting to the end of your life, and you've literally just been like, where did this go?
Well, man, that's when it's said, is when you listen to the elderly person sitting there.
Don't get to that point.
And go, what did you regret? And they say, I didn't say what I really felt. I wasn't really present. I didn't do what I really wanted to do with my life. I was worried about what people would think. I did what other people wanted for me. I did this, I did that. I played safe. And you go, wow.
Yep.
And you go, and they can't go back and do it again.
Yep.
Like TikTok.
Yeah, you're just waiting for permission.
Yeah.
Like realizing you can give yourself permission at any time to do that thing.
Choose it.
It's a choice. Like, it's always a choice.
Yeah.
But if you're unconscious all the time and you don't do these things to become, aware of these decisions you're making, you're just constantly waiting for this external thing to give yourself permission. And you never get to that point where you actually give yourself permission to actually do that thing or be happy.
But until you've started training
Yeah,
or
you gotta
getting
train.
control of those
Yep.
dragons,
That's why,
it's really hard
Yep.
to take control when you've got 6 wild beasts pulling in every direction with no coordination.
I was going to say that. I think with what were those 3 things again? The three
Those
types
that
of people.
make it happen, those that let it happen, and those that say what happens.
Yeah, I think the 6 dragons tied in so well with like the journey of the gym is like we want to teach people how to make their lives happen
Yes.
and not say what happened.
Yeah.
You know, be present, come to
Take
the gym,
control.
open those 4 doorways, tame your dragons, and just live a happy life where you're present and not stuck in this future mode or past mode. You can just be happy in the moment.
Lifting weights, like, obviously we're a gym, but lifting weights doesn't mean anything if you don't have the purpose and intention behind it. Like, it's just another thing you're using to escape your life.
Exactly
If you
right.
don't-
Distracting
if you don't
yourself.
pull yourself into a different state after training, when you have the higher levels of endorphins and you feel really good, but then you go home and then you just scroll on Instagram and then it just wears off. It's like, what's the point then? Like, if you're not using it as a tool to think a bit greater or give yourself permission or choose differently elsewhere in your life, then what's the point? Yeah, it's great. You're gonna be a little bit healthier. You're definitely better off you didn't do it, but it's like, it's a waste. Like, it could be, if you had the right intention or purpose behind it, then it could be far more powerful than just going there and just getting jacked. So you can look good for a photo and
A really good
whatever.
example.
Yeah, right.
A really good example of that is like last year, or maybe the year before, when we were in all those lockdowns and people couldn't come to the gym and people's mental health just deteriorated.
Yeah.
I think that just reinforces the importance of covering all 4 doorways. Like
Yep.
you can't just come to the gym to mask your
Yep.
psychological problems with heavy weight training, overtraining, when you might need to
Yep.
look and walk through the mind doorway
Yep.
or the breath doorway or the ice because they tie in so well.
It's like a crux that
You can't just have
someone
one,
can-
you need to have all of them.
If it can be taken away from you, then you don't have the power then.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think the mind, the breath and the ice is more of an untapped thing because a lot of people know how to train. And I think that's awesome that we're doing this. We're doing the breath work. We have you for the mind.
Sure.
And we have the ice bars, which is starting to be introduced to a lot of people.
And if you look at history, it is ancient wisdom.
It is
Like the ice baths and all of the heat stuff from saunas and the breath works, pranayama, it comes from yoga, it comes from thousands of years of ancient wisdom. And so does the ice. If you look at the Nordic people, jumping in ice, jumping in heat, sweat, like it's all part of a journey so now we are scientifically discovering the benefits of these things and going, well, oh my God, people who use saunas have incredibly diminished the risk of terminal illness or heart disease, and the breath work and longevity and the production of DHEA, the youth hormone, or the lowering of the production of cortisol, which is adrenaline and fight-flight acidity in the body, and being able to control alkaline in the system, which disease can't exist in.
Yeah.
And all of it's been there in Ayurvedic medicine, Taoism, Chinese medicine, all the ancient ways. And we discover it, which is like we tend to make it linearly scientific and go, well, oh my God, it does this, it does this, it does this, it does this, as if it's like, well, we've discovered it. But they didn't need to know all that to understand it.
They knew. They just knew.
They knew, yeah. But what's cool is our culture is starting to go, oh, holy heck, this stuff works. And wow, and noticing people, depression diminishing, stress, anxiety attacks, panic attacks, breath work, I feel like I've never felt before, or I feel so clear and happy and, so the whole brain changes and you go, well, the whole reason the sanctuary is doing what it's doing, I think, is through the 4 doorways, is because we understand the ancient wisdoms and we're bringing them together into the ones we relate to, and going, this changes people's lives together. Wow! And we're watching people, wake up and get happy. Young people, beautiful, everyone.
Yeah.
And that
just going, wow.
That's what lights you up, is like that actual could change your whole fucking life. Like not just
And you see it happen.
we have
You're
this
seeing it
machine,
happen.
and then because of that, you're getting a bigger chest, or like
Yeah,
we've got
yeah.
the best chest machine. Like I do love that.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I fucking love gym equipment. But
Yeah.
No, you're like,
I fucking love gym
You just don't
equipment.
go and then say, let's just
But,
go to the
but
car.
like that means
It's not
nothing
everything.
compared to
No.
someone saying I came to a breathwork session, or I
opened
started
me
using
up.
the journal and I started writing these things down, and
Yeah.
like my whole
Transform
yeah,
themselves
it's just like I
inside and
didn't
out.
even realize I was doing this. Like
Yeah,
I'm asking myself whole new
Yeah.
questions. Like that's
the
that's
most-
way more
It is the most-
motivating than anything.
It's the most grateful thing seeing someone have a big breakthrough at the breathwork session
Yeah.
because you know
Isn't it something?
you just see like we're not just a gym. There's just so much,
Yep.
so many levels to what we're doing.
Transformative.
Yep.
Well, you don't go into a gym and just train one muscle.
Yeah,
Well, I'm
exactly.
just going to
exactly.
do my arm, man.
Yeah,
You go, you see my arm, you know, and the rest of the body's sort of, I can't keep up, you know, and then, you don't do that. And then, in the gym is we're not just,
Yeah.
the gym looks like it's a gym, but it's more than a gym. And it looks like it's a breathwork place, but it's more than a breathwork place. You know, and you go, no, it's a lot more. It's holistic, and it's a combination of a number of dimensions that allow people to move into their most extraordinary potential and happiness. So, and I think that's, if we wrote what the sanctuary is really about for people, what would you say? Because you founded it.
Well, I feel like this conversation is pretty well captured, like what it's all about.
yeah.
But
Yeah,
go on.
it's just, I guess, making people realize that everything is a choice. I feel like maybe that's a big question. We're actually putting me on the spot.
Yeah, that's like a whole podcast.
Yeah, it's a whole podcast. But if I had to summarize it into short.
Go into your heart, because I love your answers when you go into your heart. Like, what's it about? Because you know it. It's an expression of you.
Like we're all so much more powerful, and we have so much more potential than we've been led to believe. And
It's perfect.
Yeah.
I
So
think
the school kids come out of bloody high school. They're in.
Yeah.
I mean, I've dealt with them over the years. The school kids come out of high school and they think, I didn't get the OP or I didn't get the mark. I'm screwed because they think that well, that's the only way to get a really successful life. It has to high OP, and then later in life you go, well, it actually meant nothing to nothing. You know, it might have got you through a doorway earlier.
Yeah.
And so, you know, people get stuck in moments, and I think when you really connect with who you really are, what you're capable of, which is what the sanctuary provides, then you realise that you can cause it in the way you want it, and you're not subject to the culture's norms. They are a generalisation. That you can actually cause the great life by being the best you.
I think the beautiful thing about all these tools that we have, the doorways, the dragons, is it's all bound together by the community and the members of the gym.
Yeah.
It's that, like the sanctuary is about the connection with the people there and that growth as a whole. I think that's the most powerful thing, and that the tools that we're giving them is just letting them fly.
Isn't the space awesome? Like, I haven't been there for 2 weeks, and I walked
people.
out. It's just so beautiful to walk in and getting all these high fives and, you know, what do you
Power
call it? It's not a
Rex.
high five, is it? What is it?
Fist bump.
It's a fist bump. Okay, there you go. So I've finally learned something new. So you get these
Told you
fist
so
bumps.
many times now.
I know, take it. Just one stay. Have to practice.
Yeah.
So it's just the space that's energetic and enthusiastic and keen and supportive and for everybody. And I love that. You know, it's so,
I've never
so
experienced
exciting.
anything like it in my life.
No, it's
and
wonderful.
I just can't wait for the growth. The members that are yet to come.
You feel really proud of it? Do you go, like, I feel so proud.
I feel so grateful. My heart's full.
I feel proud to wear the symbols.
Yeah, it's
I feel so proud to have you with that symbol on you.
Oh, thanks. Like,
That's probably my greatest accomplishment ever. Is you getting that?
yeah.
tattoo.
You getting a tattoo?
was it?
Yeah,
Like
it's up there.
You
You
know,
were
it
on
means
that when
it's
you got
on
that.
forever.
Yeah.
That lit me
Like
up.
it's my, it's my sixth dragon,
Yeah.
which is I'm committed. It
Yeah.
is devotion. It is part of my mission, and I'll wear that. You know, I'll wear it.
Because
yeah, you have to.
I often,
You can't get rid of it.
I often think about leaving like school and just being lost and just like having no idea what the fuck to do, and all the things that I've had to learn over time, but I had to really seek it out. But every time I learn, I'm like, why the fuck was I not taught this in school? Like, why is there not just one period every day where it's just like how to think properly, how to not hate yourself,
Yeah.
how to love yourself.
Because they don't understand.
It doesn't create workers, like.
No,
it's-
but
well,
I know.
maybe anyway. Well, it's a whole other rabbit hole. But
in the linear world,
but it's-
just hasn't got there yet.
yeah, but that was like frustrating to me looking back. I'm like, I could have saved myself so much pain if I had, come across someone like you in school. And
I wish I had.
Yeah. Well, I think we all had. And I think that is part of what this is about, is like, as we learn these things that helped us and we strive to be a living example.
But where did we learn it? Where did you learn?
Well,
I learned it on the streets. I learned it in alleys. I learned
you seek
it in
it out.
darkness and pain.
Pain. It's like, I don't want to feel the way that I feel.
Yeah.
It's like,
I couldn't settle for
it's
it.
just
Pain
like,
and
I'd
trauma.
prefer to get
Trauma,
to step into the unknown
Aloneness.
than continue feeling that pain. But if someone could just teach me that would be a lot easier. So if we could be those people, then that would be like the ultimate vision.
And that's what we're doing right now on
That's
this
the purpose,
podcast.
isn't it?
I think so.
That's the purpose of this podcast, is to expand the knowledge that we have, your knowledge, our wisdom, to a lot of people.
Yeah. Because you're having these conversations with people when they come in, you try and tell them, but it's like, this isn't scalable.
No.
Like, I can't just like talk to every single person and like, well, maybe have you thought about it this way?
Yeah.
Like, you just simply can't do that. But if people want to tune into this
platform
if
is the best.
they choose
for
to
that.
tune in, then it could change lives. Like, that is.
But they can
That's
walk in
more
and put the toe in the river. They can walk in and go up to
Yeah,
their knees. They can dive in.
Yep.
They can submerge. They
Yep.
can get in a cooling and go under for hours.
Yep.
Like they choose. You can choose your depth.
And even if they don't want to do that, it's still going to be the best gym in Brisbane.
Yeah. And you're going to have the coolest little toe.
Even if you don't want to, you're still going to be jacked from coming to the sanctuary, so you may as well.
Yeah, because it's, No, I mean, that's what we want, isn't
Yeah.
it? We want people to be able to come in and get jacked. But,
I love it when you say jacked.
Get jacked in the
I've
mind
never
as
used
well.
that before. It's my new word.
Jacked. You're
You've
jacked.
been saying it all day, and I'm thinking,
I'm programming you.
but it feels weird when I go,
Yeah.
get jacked. If I sat to Catherine at dinner tonight and go, I got so jacked today. She's like,
Next, you got to start saying yoked.
yoked.
Yeah,
Is
yoked.
am I going to embarrass myself, or is it going to be a really
Nah,
cool thing to say?
get yoked.
You just come in the gym like, let's get yoked, boys.
Let's get yoked.
Yeah. Let's get yoked.
You.
What does it mean? Like yoked? It's
Yoked
more
and
than,
jacked, and
It used to
it's-
be sick, didn't it? This is sick. Like we got class sick.
I'm the definition of yoked.
You're yoked. So is that
Picture of you in the dictionary.
Yoked.
Yeah.
Shredded.
Describe it.
Do you know what shredded is?
Shredded's really lean, isn't it?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
thick.
He's learning.
Shredded, man.
Yeah, it's getting there.
I'm getting shredded.
You're getting the sanctuary lingo. Get
Aesthetic.
that. We're getting off topic. We're getting off
Turning
topic
Rex
now.
into an aesthetic god.
Aesthetic God, yeah. Like,
Oh.
Dilf, yeah.
I just want to be a fit older guy.
Shall we finish it up
Shall we
there?
do it?
Yeah, that's good.
It's
I
been so
think.
much fun.
That's an hour.
That was the best
We just
one
ticked
for
over an
sure.
hour.
Wow. Yeah, thank
That's
you.
good.
Thanks for playing.
Yeah.
Good to see you guys and hang out again. Like,
Yeah,
I
that
miss
was
you
awesome.
when I'm up the coast. So good to be here.
We'll have to
Thanks, man.
get a place up there for the weekends.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sanctuary HQ.
Yeah.
It's happening.
Yeah. We'll get yoked.
Manifest it.
We're yoked and on the coast.
Get jacked.
Put it out there. All right, boys.
It'll be sick.
All right.
No, hang on.
We practiced
How's
it.
this?
We practiced it.
Okay. Yeah, I got this.
That was fucking sick. Oh, yeah. Thanks for listening to our rants.
Very good. I hope you got something out of it because it was so much fun. Yeah.
Tune in next
Come
week
and hang out.
for
Come and
something
check
cool.
us out. Come and be loved.
Sanctuary Growthcast.